Good evening, YouTube. Matt M. Roy back once again, back to you with a live or an open forum live stream, I should say. We're starting a couple minutes early because I saw a few of you were already here. The vegan athlete, yes, the vegan athlete is following me on my Fitbit app, and I didn't even realize that you could do that you could actually follow people that way. Yeah, I'm close. I know you're interested. I know you got to know this. So 34,366 steps as of right now. I think I'm going to get to 40,000 tonight. I'm crossing my fingers, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know if it's going to happen. If it does, I will be sharing that. I'll make sure I push that notification out to everybody. So how is everyone doing this evening? You can tell I'm pumped. I'm feeling really good. Spring is here. Finally, folks. My goodness, I was getting the winter blues, and a lot of you probably felt the same way. I am drinking a Fresca, though I am going to be fasting tonight. I'm not going to do a super long fast because I really don't think I need to. Tonight, the fast is going to be I stopped eating at 2 today, and I'll probably eat again tomorrow around 6 or 7, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hours. So we'll do a 16-8 fast for tomorrow. Nick Roberts, not feeling well, so might miss this stream. My ulcerative colitis is not so good today, and I feel a tad little less energy. I have a few people I know that have ulcerative colitis, and yes, I know it can be a pain, so please feel better. If you have to leave before the end, don't worry about it. Victor Del Fuente, my day's been well. I've just been hearing lots of news about the COVID-19. That's what we're going to call it because that's what the official name is now. I've heard a lot about it too today, and a lot of it is a little on the scary side, but you have to remember, when you take everything in consideration, the flu, the actual flu that we get every year, is a lot more communicable than this is, and it also, honestly kills a lot more people. So yes, we're probably not going to have a vaccine for this. They're saying up to about a year, but it's just something I think that's going to have to run its course. And at this point, there is no credible evidence that says this was man-made. All evidence points to this being a animal to human transfer, which is, in perfect honesty, that's very rare. That hardly ever happens. So that in and of itself, it was a little scary, but just make sure you're prepared. You have a preparedness kit like you would for a hurricane or a earthquake, something like that. Just make sure you're ready. That's really important. Dabbler's Buffet. Hey, Mr. Roy, what's that I see? 80s classic. Yes! I'm surprised it would actually focus that well on that. Yes, Rhythm of the Night, Eldebarge. Love my 80s music. And fun fact, he actually wrote and sung the song for Short Circuit, the theme song, Who's Johnny? If you've never heard that, that was a great song from back in the day. I absolutely love it. Played that one before. I'll probably play it again once this live stream's over. I'm going to answer a question that somebody sent me. It was a comment from that rant I did about the Dell Optiplex 3020s being junk. They said, what about your other computers, including your Dell Optiplex? And he goes through a whole bunch of them, 970, 7010, 720, 3010s. Do they work fine with the same BIOS version? No, the faulty BIOS was only for the Optiplex 3020. The rest of them are just fine, and it's not all the 3020s. I have since found out that it's only the ones in the US, the ones that they had in Europe and other countries, they didn't use the same BIOS revision. So those are good. Just happen to be the ones in the United States that were problematic. Dabbler's Buffet. 80s music is great. If you look at the music from 1980 to 1983, I was born in that time frame, there's some raw energy involved in rock during that time. Yeah, I'd have to agree. We're talking about the Police, so Sting. Did a lot of their songs in that time. What was the one that I really liked? Every Breath You Take. Of course, what's the one that Weird Al parodied? You know, The Eye of the Tiger, was it? Something like that. But anyway, he had some really, really good music. But a lot of songs from that decade were good, in my opinion. Boy, can you hear my mom in the other room? My mother's voice carries. Hey, Mom, take a pause for the cause. Wow. I love my mom, but she has a voice that can go through walls. And I'm not talking about just sheetrock. We're talking about brick walls, cement walls, whatever you got. Oh, well, we're just going to have to press on here. Message in a Bottle. I'm not as familiar with that one. Keep Getting Ads with Patrick Stewart in them. I watched it. Yeah, the new Picard series is out. I have not even seen that yet. I think you can only watch that online, and I'm not even sure what streaming service that's working with now. Oh, I am so sorry, folks. I kind of ate real junky today, so that's another reason I'm trying to get all my steps in. But I had a lot of fruits and vegetables too, and if you're somebody like me, fruits and vegetables will come back up on you from time to time. Yes, I do remember Tiffany. Oh my gosh, I'm surprised you mentioned that because I was actually listening to earlier today the Jetsons movie album, and believe it or not, Tiffany did all the songs on that for the most part. There were a few by other artists, but she also did the voice of Judy Jetson in the movie because by that time the actress that did the voice of Judy Jetson had passed away, so Tiffany actually took over that role for the movie. You know what's interesting? Talking Heads did a recent performance on SNL with once in a lifetime. Anybody see that? I don't actually watch SNL very much. I did watch it when Eddie Murphy came back and he did all those parodies that were really funny, like Mr. Robertson's Neighborhood, I think it was, where he portrayed like an African American version of Mr. Rogers. Been watching a lot of Little Britain lately, and also Come Fly With Me. The same two actors did both of those. And forgive me, but it is time to feed the cat some treats. So, Mido, want some treats? I'm sure Baxter will be in here in a minute. Oh, yeah, he's pigging out. Check this out. You can see him over there pigging out. They love these treats, by the way. Let's see if Baxter. Oh, yeah. Here comes Baxter. Let me turn this off because is it off? Yeah, it's off. I want to make sure that keyboard's off because they may be ending this live stream prematurely. Incidentally, that's one of the new monitors I set up, the HP 24Fs. These things are awesome screens, much better than the ones I had before. How about a super chat? Anybody willing to give a super chat for these two guys? Maybe so I can get them some more treats. What's up? What's up, Mai? No? Okay. Well, I guess they really oh dang. Hang on a second. I guess Baxter's full. I did give him quite a few treats earlier. Come on. There we go. This webcam sits very, very precure. What's the word? It teeters on top of the monitor because this is almost a bezel-less monitor. I would say these HP 24Fs have maybe a centimeter bezel on either side except for the bottom, and the webcam does not like sitting up there. Don't worry, Eric. Don't worry. It's all good. Yesterday during the live stream, I was building a rototiller out of spare parts for a customer. That's awesome. I wish I was better with small engines like you were, but I never had the experience when I was young. There's something I was going to tell you guys too. It'll come to me in a minute. What I may wind up doing, because it's going to start getting late towards the end of this, I may go ahead and do some more marching, because I definitely want to try to get to 40,000 steps for the day. Awesome. Mr. Jimmy's going to do a super chat. Always appreciated. And I am today, well, let's see. Now, I'm not going to say that because I think I previously promised I was going to use the super chats to improve the computer equipment. So they were going to stick with that. Okay, so but while we're waiting for some more people here, I do want to let everybody know that if you're looking to build a PC or upgrade your system in the near future, you may want to go ahead and do it now. If you don't have the money, beg, borrow, don't steal. I know a lot of people probably were thinking that, but PC component prices are on the rise, and that is because of COVID-19. They've just started reopening some of the facilities in China where they actually make these products. But unfortunately, it's going to take a while for that to weed through the ports and actually get to us here in the States. And as of right now, most of the ports are still closed. So if you are looking to upgrade your PC, don't wait. Do it now, because you're going to wind up spending a lot more on your components. Jay's 2 cents. Yeah, I actually got a lot of that information from him, but there were a lot of different people talking about that. That was for, hey, Mr. Roy, what if I did a live stream in the late hours of the night, after hours starting from 2 to 3 a.m.? Well, it depends. You won't be getting me because I'll be fast asleep. I get to bed around 9 p.m. every night. That's just me. But get a lot of late night people maybe getting out of the bars at that time and looking for something to do. I'd give it a try. You never know. You might get quite a few people to come. Oh. I meant to check out AliExpress earlier because a lot of the components that I've been buying on eBay, the prices were already gone up. But AliExpress, being what it is, the prices there are still pretty good on things like wireless cards, even memory. Memory's not too bad there either. What do we got? 12 watchers. Awesome. Okay. So let's go into computer and office. Wake up. Come on. And let's just see what I want to see what DDR3 memory is going for. And we'll go with an 8 gig stick. Killsre, KILLISRE. I've never even heard of that. This is 8 gig stick, 4 gigs times 2. And let me see. Here's the thing. You have to be very careful with buying memory, especially on places like AliExpress, because you'll see where it says memory for AMD, memory for Intel, and the memory for the AMD is generally going to be cheaper than the one for Intel. That's because Intel memory has to be low density. AMD boards will accept high density memory, and high density memory is less expensive and is not as efficient, we should say, as the low density. So you got to be really careful. If you're buying memory, make sure that you buy one for either the AMD board or the Intel board. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I've bought high density memory before and I've had a lot of bad luck with it. So I usually just stick with the low density sticks. But let me give you an example. 8 gig stick of DDR3, you're running about $30 right now. So that's not terrible. I can get a used stick for about $20 in my local Goodwill. 4 gig, now that's not bad. $15 for a brand new stick of 4 gig DDR3 desktop memory. That's not bad at all. I'll go ahead. Let me see if I could share this page with you or not. Probably not. Well, we'll see if I can shorten this up a little bit. See if that brings you to the same thing. Yep, that'll work. So if you guys are interested in getting some memory, that's just something I was looking at on AliExpress earlier. Yeah, low voltage memory on laptops. I have an HP that requires that, and that's very hard to find. And when you can find it, they want a lot of money for it. Well, 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 is that Mr. Baxter up there? Check it out. I left the window open, and it's funny because they alternate. Sometimes Baxter will be in the window, other times Milo will be in the window. So they alternate throughout the day. And right now, Baxter seems to be really enjoying something outside. I don't know what he can see out there, being it's nighttime. Yeah, I don't know. Mr. Jimmy, odd. I have 110 New Zealand on my Google balance. I wanted to use it, but saying I have no funds on there. It's all good. It's all good. Tyler, hey Matt, how you doing? I'm doing really good. And I actually just finished watching your vlog. Well, I'll call it a vlog, but it was kind of like an update video where you told everybody about your car. I think that's a good choice. Honestly, I didn't realize you were having that many problems with it, and I would have said the same thing. I would have probably told you just get rid of it. I was really contemplating doing the same thing with my Yukon because of all the electrical issues, but honestly, that thing has such a good drivetrain that I can deal with the electrical problems, and it's nothing really major. It's I need to get the radio looked at, the actual Bose head unit in there, the touch screen. I think it's got a bad solder joint because every once in a while the screen just resets itself, and I can just do some smash therapy on it. It usually works good for about another month. And then the other thing that I have problem with sometimes is the right turn signal when I put it on. It won't work. I kind of got to wiggle it. So I think it's probably going to need the multi-signal switch replaced, which is actually a good thing because now I'm thinking that might be why the cruise control doesn't work. So we'll see what happens there. But I am not looking to get a car payment, so I think we're going to probably stick with the Yukon. Nice. Going to go look at another car tomorrow. Don't spend too much. I mean, it's always better to pay cash for vehicles. You guys know how I feel about that. WW Souls. I'm surprised you haven't flipped the Yukon for a profit. Ah, interesting. Well, I don't generally do that. I'm not a car flipper. The reason I bought the Yukon is so I can accommodate the computers that I get in. I got that pallet of computers last month, and that was 40 plus computers, and my Tahoe would not have been able to handle that, at least not comfortably. So I needed a vehicle of more substantial size to be able to do hauls like that. The Yukon, I'm still on the fence about. There's a chance that I might sell it on. I could recoup all my money and make a small profit if I did that. But to be perfectly honest with you, it's actually the perfect vehicle. It's got the Vortex 6.0 in there, the 6-liter V8, which is the best engine you could get in those vehicles at the time. Um, Mechanically, it's sound. There's no problems mechanically. It doesn't leak anything. It's got 183,000 miles on it, but from what I could tell, it was mostly highway miles. So it would behoove me to keep it, benefit me, in other words, to keep it, because if I got rid of it, chances are to get something of that size, I would probably have to shell out more money, probably get a car loan. I'm really not looking to do that at the moment. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I'm curious to see what vehicle you choose. I'm not asking you to spill the beans here, but I'm definitely going to watch out for that. Chris Garrett, the older Yukons and Chevy Tahoes are great. Yeah, anything before like the 2007 switch. Anything after that, they have a lot of problems with the engines. A lot, even more electrical problems than anything. My favorites are the GMT 400s, like my Tahoe. So 88 to 99, best GMs, in my opinion. And it's not just my opinion. There are a lot of mechanics out there that will tell you those are the best General Motors, basically trucks to own. We're talking Silverados, Yukons, Tahoes. Pretty much that whole generation of GMs were pretty much bulletproof. Tyler goes, my 5.3 Chevy got bad lifter noise, but runs good. That was a problem with the 5.3 liter V8s. They ran good, but they did have a little lifter noise, and even worse than that, the 4.8, I think it was another motor they had, another Vortec, and that was also a V8. And that one even had some rod knock in a lot of them. My dad had a 99 GMC Sierra with that motor. And I remember back when he had that, that thing would just knock until it warmed up. And it got worse and worse to the point where it just knocked all the time. And that's when he had to sell it. Mr. Jimmy, my dream car would be a Citroen Green 1977 British Leyland Mini 1000 Mark IV. Wow, that's a mouthful. Being from the United States, I don't know a lot about those myself. Chris Garrett, yes. I actually would trust a key fob from eBay, and I can say that with some confidence because if you guys remember my 2010 Chrysler Town and Country, I actually got a second key fob on eBay, but you will, in most cases, have to go to the dealer to get it programmed and get the key cut. So just factor that in and see what's cheaper. It probably will be cheaper to buy them because you can buy the key blank and the fob online on eBay for like $10 or $15, but the programming from the dealer will usually cost you $80 to $100. So they get you one way or another. Eric goes, I'm a third generation, 73 to 87 guy myself. That was my least favorite, honestly. I'm just being perfectly honest. And it wasn't just a styling issue I had with that generation. It was the fact that they used cheap materials. Like if you look at any of the GM vehicles from that era, that third generation, half the time the dashboards are all cracked up. The seats are torn, the headliners are falling. Not to say that the fourth gen GMT 400s didn't suffer some of those problems, but generally the dash is held up better. Maybe it's just me, but I definitely prefer the fourth gen over the third. Them's fighting words. All right, let's fight. Come on, Eric. I challenge you. Come on, let's go fight. Yeah, there are videos that'll teach you how to program some key fobs, but there are ones that you can't do yourself. Usually you have to have two original key fobs to be able to program the third one. And some of the newer vehicles, like my Chrysler Town and Country, you just couldn't do it at all. You could have had 20 key fobs. You still wouldn't be able to program it yourself. You need to go either to the dealer or to a locksmith. Now, if you listen to Scotty Kilmer, he'll tell you all day long, oh yeah, go to the locksmith. They're going to be a lot cheaper. Around where I live, that's not the case. They're about the same. The locksmith wanted to charge me $85, and so did the dealer. So I just went to the dealer because they were closer. Well, that's good. I mean, in your vehicle, it's very possible. You know, we're talking about a Dodge Ram versus a Chrysler Town and Country, so it may indeed be easier to do. I'm not 100% sure. Wow, even that '06 Grand Caravan required programming. I'm not surprised. And the only reason that they do that is so they can sell you the programming in the future. The dealers, the manufacturers know what they're doing. They're doing the most they possibly can to make the dealerships as much money as they possibly can and to make themselves more money, really. Oh, I am so sorry, everybody. I've been doing this all night long. Is your dad going to get anything to replace the Dodge Ram? No immediate plans. The reason we sold the Dodge Ram is because we're not going to be using the trailer. As a matter of fact, we're actively trying to sell the trailer now. Um, my father's at the point in his life where he's just not going to be traveling like that. And I did not feel comfortable driving the vehicle with that big of a trailer. I just wouldn't want to do it. I'm not that good. I'm a good driver. Don't get me wrong. I'm a good driver, but I don't want the stress of having to do that. So what we decided to do is to sell the truck and the trailer. And and there's a big if we decide to get something else, it'll be something like a Class C motorhome. And that's the short answer. Okay, yeah. Send me a message later, Tyler. I'll be curious to see what you selected. Yeah, definitely. Oh, boy, I tell you, everybody, I kind of feel a little bloated tonight. I really did overdo it with the food today, but I'm not gaining weight. I'm still staying around 212, 213. Still like to lose. I'll be honest with you. I still want to break that 200-pound weight barrier. I just don't know if it's going to be possible. It's you get to the point where you're close to your goal weight. I mean, you like in my case, I've exceeded my goal weight, but it's just in the back of my mind. I'm like, can you do it? Can you get any lower? I don't know. Okay, shout out to Alex. My girlfriend loves watching you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yep, I got the message from the vegan athlete. I'm not going to give the name on her name or his name on Fitbit because I don't know if they'd want that. But yep, got that for sure. I'm liking this new monitor setup too. The old one was just not doing it anymore. I had two mismatched monitors, and that's something that is a big pet peeve of a lot of you guys out there. It didn't bother me until I realized how nice it is to have two matching screens, exactly the same screens at the same level. Well, for the most part, I should say. I still have to have it propped up with a Garth Brooks discography and the classics on CD, but it works. Awesome computers. I pulled out my old Moto G5 with a bad charging port and wiggled the cable into the port to boot it up. Oh boy, that thing is so slow. Yeah, Moto 5 G5. Yeah, I guess that is kind of on the old side now. Now you can actually get those ports replaced. I don't do them myself, but the mall right near my house, you can get it done for like $60, and they'll do it while you wait. Like you can drop your phone off, do some more shopping in the mall, and then pick it up like in half an hour. It's really awesome, actually. Oh wow, yeah, 2 gigs of RAM. That's nowhere near enough for today. All right, so we have 14 watchers and 15 likes. Awesome. My aunt Lisa posted this on Facebook. When a post includes, I bet none of my friends will share this. Rest assured, I won't. That's awesome. Those drive me crazy. Those are in most cases spam. I'll be honest with you. Those things I would totally ignore. I actually got my bikes out for the first time in a while. The one bike that I used to ride, I actually took out today, and I remembered why I liked it so much. If you ever get a chance, if you get into to bike riding, and not necessarily BMX riding, but this one's more of a comfort bike. It's the Raleigh SC40. One of the best bikes I've ever owned. It's what they would call a comfort bike. So you guys might remember lately I told you my lower back's been bothering me. Well, this one I sit upright. I don't kind of lean over the handlebars. I sit more upright, so it actually is a lot easier on my back. So they don't make these brand new anymore, folks, but you can find them from time to time on like eBay and Amazon. But a wonderful, wonderful bike, I'm telling you. See if there are any up for sale now. Oh, yeah. Wow. Man, they are asking a fortune for these. This is the bike. I can't believe it. This is actually the price it was when it was brand new. But yes, the Raleigh SC40 Sport Comfort Bike, Generation 2.0. Mine's exactly the same bike. And it's actually, believe it or not, a pretty small frame. Like I'm 6'2", and it's a 26-inch bike, so technically it's a little too small for me. But the way I make it work is I got one of those padded gel seats that puts my gluteus maximus up maybe an extra 2 inches or so, and then of course I have the seat extended up all the way, and it's just barely big enough. Man, I cannot believe how much they want for these things. There's another one, but this is the smaller version. This is the woman's version. If you guys and gals don't know, a man's bike has the bar that goes straight. A woman's has the bar that curves down like that, which to me it should be the opposite. I never really understood that, but I mean, I guess a lot of us do with the stability of the bike, because having the bar up there means that, you know, the bike is more rigid, it can handle more weight, and generally guys weigh more than girls, so I'm guessing that's probably why. Depending on the weight of the camper, I might actually buy it from you guys. It's a 36-foot Keystone Laredo. I want to say curb weight on that is about 10.5. It's not a light trailer, and you got to remember it's a fifth wheel. Yeah, you have to have a fifth wheel or a hitch put in your truck. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested, definitely I'll you could talk to Dad about it, because I'm listing it for sale. But whenever somebody's interested, I just give him his number, because I just don't want to deal with it anymore. It took forever to sell the truck, and I was dealing with all the people that were interested. I had to forward all the messages to him, and I'm just done with it. I'm like, I just don't want to deal with it. I want to get the trailer out of here. We need the room for other things, other projects. And that brings me to my big announcement. I told you guys something really cool was going to happen. Well, it's not a definite, but if we sell the trailer that's sitting on the side of the house, there is a very good chance that I am going to be picking up a enclosed trailer of my own. It's not going to be huge. It's going to be maybe something like a little car trailer. And the reason I want to do that is I want to be able to pick up larger amounts of computers. So we're talking, you know, instead of getting a pallet of 40 computers, maybe get a pallet of 100 computers. So that's kind of my big announcement right now. Hopefully it wasn't a big letdown for a lot of you out there, but that's something that's going to be in the works, and I'm actively saving money for that right now. I had planned on maybe trying to get a place of my own, but circumstances have dictated that that's not going to be possible, at least not in the near future. So what I decided to do is try to build up my nest egg, let's say. And I think the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to step up the refurbished computer game, because to be perfectly honest with you, it can be lucrative if you do it the right way. Now, I've talked a lot about this in the past. When you're refurbishing computers, you need to make sure that they are truly refurbished computers. In other words, you need to make sure that you are physically cleaning them out inside and out. You need to make sure that you, at the very least, replace the thermal compound between the CPU and the heatsink, because a lot of people forget to do that. You need to replace the CMOS batteries. I don't care how new the computer is. That's something that you just need to do. And I would highly recommend upgrading all your computers with solid state drives. people expect it now, and even the people that don't expect it, it is a huge bonus. And you got to think about brand loyalty. When you're selling computers or you're selling something, you're selling yourself, you're selling your brand. And if people are really happy with the item that you're selling to them, they're going to tell their friends and family, and you are going to make more sales in the long run. Now, putting SSDs in computers is a cost, and it is something I have to factor in. At the end of the day, I don't make as much on each computer, but I make it back in the long run because I have people that are, one, very happy with their computers, and two, are willing to tell their family and friends, and they're coming and buying them. So repeat business, it all just goes around. Mr. Burns, it's currently half past midnight in England right now. I'm listening to you in bed. Funny how it's only 7:30 p.m. in Eastern America. You say it's midnight. Yeah, that's about right. About 4 hours. About a 4 hour time difference. And I think it's this coming week, it's going to be spring ahead because we observe daylight savings time here. Oh man. Oh man, heartburn is terrible. It's like dragon breath. You ever just sit down and feel like you could breathe fire out? That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Dabbler's Buffet, when it comes to refurbishing computers, you could also replace the CMOS battery in them. I actually did say that. It's fine. I know a lot of people probably missed that. It's an annoyance when the user has to deal with the incorrect date and time. Yeah, and it actually can be even worse than that. I've seen it to where it'll actually prevent the computer from booting, and a lot of the Dell Optiplexes are like that. So yeah, always change your CMOS battery. It's not a huge expense. CMOS batteries for 99% of your computers out there, and I'm sure I have one here somewhere. Yep, are these guys right here. Your CR2032 standard watch style button cell battery, and I can't grip it because I just put lotion on, but there it is right there, folks. You can get them on AliExpress or Amazon. They're about $1 a piece, and it's worth doing. It's definitely worth doing. You know, it's funny. There's one laptop that I have that it won't boot sometimes due to the date in the BIOS being set to the year 2050. Definitely sounds like a BIOS issue. There you go. 20 of them off eBay for like $2. If they're good ones, if they work good for you, Mr. Jimmy, go ahead and share the link. That everybody, I'm sure, would like to know that. Oh boy, I got Mr. Milo just fast asleep on the bed here. Unbelievable. This cat amazes me how long cats can sleep. Yeah, yeah, and I'm not surprised, Eric, because they recommended us getting at least a 3/4 ton when we got the trailer, and I think yours is the half ton, like basically what my Yukon would be. Why 2050 bug? You know what? I'm going to refer you to Carrie Holdsman's video because I really don't know a lot about it. I haven't really been following a lot of Microsoft news, but basically what that is, it's like the latest update of Microsoft that really went awry. Let me do a search on that because I don't want to give misinformation out here. Oh, that's not what it is either. What in the world? We are now closer to the 2038 bug. What in the world? All right, somebody's got to explain that one to me. I have not heard about this. I thought you were referring to the latest the latest Microsoft update that went awry. I haven't heard of this at all. The Y3K bug. Okay, so basically, oh boy, I'll have to read more into this, but yeah, I'm not surprised. So now they're saying that in the year 2038, there's going to be like another Y2K. Oh boy. Y2.1K. That sounds like what this is. That's basically what this would be. Hope I'm around to see it. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be, right? Let's see. We got 17 people here, 16 watchers. I am probably going to end this a little before an hour because if I'm going to be getting my 40,000 steps in, I'm going to have to get to that. So kind of get your questions in now because I'm going to be ending this here in a few minutes. Kerry just discovered it. I'll have to watch his video. I'll be honest with you, I've not even heard anything about it. Mysterious changes of year from 2050 to 1950. Stack Overflow. Also computers. I think I have too much stuff. Over 50 phones and 30 computers and stuff around 10 tablets and what is it? Working on computers and non-working parts. Well, it depends on what you're going to be using them for. I mean, if they're just going to sit around and collect dust, then yeah, I would say you got too much. Put them to good use, you know? Oh, thank you, Mr. Jimmy. I appreciate that. I'm going to check that listing out now. YCDC CR 2032 3-volt button. Are these lithium? Yeah, lithium batteries. Okay. Does not ship to United States. So those of you that are in New Zealand can get it, but nope, doesn't ship to the United States. Ah, bummer. All right, everybody, I'm ending it here tonight because if I'm going to get those steps in, I gotta start now. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. Is kind of 42 minutes in. Please continue to like and subscribe. Have a great evening, and as always, have a blessed day, everybody.